Right, welcome back to another video, guys. We're just going to be discussing the recent price changes at CEX. I've held off for a few days on purpose, or a week or so, just to see what sort of price changes are happening. And yeah, it looks like it's a mixed bunch, if I'm honest. It really does. I can't quite work it out. So we're going to look at a few heavy hitters today in terms of pricing and see what the difference is between an unboxed and a box copy. In the meantime, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications button if you want to see or know when I've made some new videos. It really does help the channel. So the first game we're going to look at, we've got Alien versus Predator without manual on the SNES. Now I'm only going to be focusing really today on what the games are being sold for, not so much your cash value and your buyer, what you get for your vouchers. So we're looking at 190 here, and that's without a manual. And then we move on to with manual, and it's 210. Okay, so we're looking at £20 there for the manual. Now, from what I was looking at online and reading other people's reports and videos, it does look like the average is £15 to £20 that they look to be charging now on top for a manual. But there's a few strange ones out there. So we've got Turtles in Time now on the SNES. Now this one is without the manual and it's at £250. Which is, it's a huge price, isn't it? And then we move on to with manual, and it's £260. So only £10 for a manual on this particular title. So I would be really intrigued to know how they're grading these manuals and complete, because there's no real consistency from what I can see. As you can see here, we move on to another expensive SNES title in Terranigma. So we're now looking at with manual on this one, and we're looking at $290 is what you would pay. So let's have a look at what you would pay for this without a manual now. And $275 without a manual. So that's £15 for the manual, essentially. So whilst it does look like there's an average of between 10 to 20 rather pound, I can't quite work out what games are deserving of the £20 manuals and vice versa. So looking at this one, another heavy hitter on the SNES, Captain Commando. So without a manual on this one, you're looking at $625. And when did this game get so expensive? Now this is where you'll see there's some strange, I mean look, $675 with manual. So for this particular title, you're looking at paying £50 on top for the manual. Who determines and how do they determine the manual cost? So Silent Hill is one that's been fluctuating quite a lot in the last 12 months. So we're looking at the Platinum one today without manual. So that's now at £72, which I think is a rise. I'm not certain, but I think it was 65 before. I'm not certain on that. If you know more, give us a shout on here. Leave a note in the comments and correct me. So now the Platinum with the manual is 85. So again, a random number there. It's £13 for the manual on this particular title. And Silent Hill, like I say, has been a game that's fluctuated in price quite a lot recently. As you can see here, so we've got Silent Hill, the non-platinum edition, without manual is now £105. And Silent Hill with a manual at £125. So So there you go. That's a £20 increase on the game there if you want a manual, if you're that kind of collector. So onto this one, a PlayStation. It's quite a heavy hitter. It's quite a rare game as well. I did used to have a copy of this. So Jackie Chan Stunt Master with the manual is £125. And then it's 105 without the manual. So again, you can see that the average here is between 15 to £20. But you will see variations, you know, like Silent Hill, the platinum one, £13, and the Captain Commando at £50, which is, I don't understand that one at all. So Chaos Break here with the manual, we're looking at 150. So I have aimed for the PlayStation 1 today and the SNES because they seem to be the ones that are being hit the hardest, and I'm sure the Mega Drive is as well. I just think I'll do a follow-up video with Mega Drive titles and maybe Game Boy. So 135 without a manual on Chaos Break. Again, hitting the average, the 15 to £20 range. And the last game I will check up on today's video is In the Hunt. So this one without manual, a 170. Guys, if I was you, I would buy an Evercade and buy the cartridge that actually has it on it if you want a physical copy of some form. 170 is crazy. And 200 with a manual. So there again, you can see £30 there for the manual, a complete in-box dual case version of In the Hunt. So again, it's very different. I'll be really interested to know how they are grading their games in this manner. What statistics did they use? How did they come up with this formula that they seem to have come up with? I know CEX aren't really a company that do statements as such. But it would be nice for the collectors out there if they was to come out and release some sort of statement just to let people know on how they've been grading and how they've been coming up with these prices, because I think this is going to filter down and it's going to affect all kinds of collectors at CEX at some point. I think at the moment, obviously, the more retro stuff is being hit. I don't collect, so it's not going to affect me massively because I don't collect for the older consoles. I'm only collecting disc-based stuff at the moment. But if this is a success and it carries on and people are buying at these prices, it's going to filter down, I would imagine, to the disc-based stuff. Your Xboxes, your PlayStation 2s, PS3s and stuff like that. It's inevitable at some stage. And I'm quite curious as well as to the reasoning behind CEX's change in strategy. Do they see the writing on the wall? Is physical media eventually, we all know it's going to move on eventually, but do they just seem to think now's the time to cash in on their inventory, you know, whilst they can, and get as much as they can? Because CEX, they're going to have to change their business model at some point. Anyway, guys, in the meantime, I'll see you on the next video. Give us a click, give us a sub, and you guys take care.